Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name is Adam, and as always, I'm joined by Baker. How you doing, mate? You right?
Very good, mate. Very good. Good week.
Good week. Good week for you. I remember very, very well talking to you about midweek ranks last week and shit like that, and suddenly I find myself so far behind you. It's stupid, but that's the way it goes. But Spurs are top of the league, so
We are.
I will take that. I'll take that as solace. It's not a bad thing to have as a backup for me, for being a really terrible game week.
Yeah, it's the whole thing shows you how quickly everything can change, like in a matter of days and so forth, and it will happen again. Like there's some big fixtures the next few weeks.
I would like to be on the right side of it for once. Like genuinely, just once would be nice to be on the right side of it, because my game week ranks are just horror shows. And anytime I see someone having I'm not going to say I'm pissed that people are having good game week ranks. Of course, that's fine, that's good. But I would just like for once for me to have that. So, you know, my best game week rank so far this season is 593k, and then everything else is outside 2 million pretty much. It's just really, really bad. I've had this is my worst game week rank so far, 8.9 million.
And it we press the buttons, mate. We talked about that. We press the buttons, it goes, and what can you do? Like, there's so many small little things that you're like, well, that would have been a load of points, and it's not a load of points because something happens. You know, there's been VAR decisions this week. There's been, you know, slight misses, all those type of things, and like we decide how well we play this game based on whether someone did something slightly good or slightly bad. You know what I mean? And all you can just hope is that luck will work its way out. You know, I guess, you know, what you're saying is you've not had the good luck to then go, oh, okay, I can have some bad luck now.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like some of that. I'd like, you know, like a decision going against you, right? You'd like to say, oh, at the end of the season, it'll even itself out. I just haven't quite had that little push. And no, and Matt said, like, FPL General fell 500k. Yeah, he got the same amount of points as me this week. I fell over 1 million. So, you know, that doesn't make me feel any better at all, to be honest. But he's got 50. He's got 50 more points than me.
Imagine Watkins puts in that early ball from Cash early in the game.
Yeah. What is it? He had like 0.8 xg after 40 minutes. He had 0.8 xg and 0.6 xa, and then had nothing for the rest of it. He was. I mean, we'll talk about it through. I'll mention it again probably during the game, but he was literally standing there as Lockyer put it into the back of the net as well. So he's in the right place. But
it's the game. It's the game. Like it happens. You know, people with Mbeumo, like how does do you know what I mean? Like how does Mopai not score? Not only does Mopai not score, but he didn't even pass to Mbeumo. No. That was Sanchez kicked it straight. Like it could have kicked it anyway. It kicks it straight to him to just tap in. It's like a perfect pass. Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's not worth any of us getting treated about, because it's just
yeah, but you know what I'm
the
like.
way it is.
You know what I'm like. You see the WhatsApp message comes through and you go, oh, for God's sake, every time you see it. Right, just before we get started properly, we will just caveat to say that we know that YouTube's had some issues today in terms of the live streaming, so don't hammer us if there is stuff lagging, but it might lag. Again, there's nothing to do with us, and hopefully when we finished, it'll load up and everything will be fine. I had a quick check at one of the other streams from one of the other guys earlier, and after they'd finished, there was no lag, but in the live chat, it was just saying lag. So hopefully, if you can't get it now, you know, you can get it tomorrow or whatever. And then, we can see some super chats flying in already, and, you know, we really appreciate that. What we're going to do today, because it is a anniversary of some kind.
Yeah, it is an anniversary.
It's an anniversary of, well, not this, but mate, it's your story. You tell it.
Yeah, so it's weird of knowing what you put down as like an anniversary and how many you would look at. So 2015, 8 years ago, I thought I had appendicitis or something. I suddenly just had some really sharp pains, and it's all slightly blurry now. But I ended up having a CT scan to have a look on it, and they found that it wasn't appendicitis. It turned out it was just a tennis ball sized cancer.
Because if I remember rightly, you just come back from Sri Lanka and you said you thought you had like indigestion or something like that. I mean, this is how this is how big an impact it had on me. I vividly remember that conversation. Like, I remember you going on holiday and coming back having a good time, but saying like my stomach's been off and it's just not quite right.
Been off. It was just off for like a month or so, but didn't know nothing. And supposedly I'd had this in me for like 2 years, and it wasn't the cancer that caused the pain. I actually had a weird, massive abscess that was there, and it was the abscess which was sort of throbbing, which was causing the pain. So the abscess was what enabled me to save me, but almost killed me because it was a real whirlwind. Found it on the Thursday, went to see a consultant on the Friday, and when I saw him, he literally drew a big marker pen on the side of me and said, here's the cancer and here's this abscess, which is huge, and this is going to burst, and if it bursts, it's game over. So admitted me there and then into the hospital, intravenous antibiotics for 4 days, straight into surgery, and it all went because it was so big. I had to have like 8 rounds of preventative chemo. The abscess decided to keep coming back, which you will remember, and you have seen some lovely pictures of over the time, which meant I was just full of infection for like 8 months. It was pretty rank at the time, but it all went, and there's a million other stories about it, but I was really, really, really fortunate. And it's weird, like people say, when's like the all clear perspective? Effectively, in my brain, I only had cancer for 5 days because I found out on a Thursday night, and by Tuesday, technically, it was out of me. But the repercussions, the treatment, the aftercare, and so forth. But really lucky, So the only date that it's firm in my brain is because I saw this letter from them that comes through. It's like a weird thing. They faxed it from where I had the scan through to my GP, and I go to my GP and he says, here you go. And I'm like, oh God. Yeah, just God. So this is it. This picture of me was like 10 days after my surgery when they finally let me eat, and I managed to eat a biscuit. So happy. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're 8 years in, and this is the date for me that I choose to think, another year on.
Amazing. So what we're going to be doing today, Macmillan Cancer Support do fantastic work, and literally, just to remind myself, I went onto their page and just looked at About Us, and it just says their purpose is to do whatever it takes to support people living with cancer. So fantastic work done by them. If you're from the UK, you'll know they do lots of coffee mornings and things like that for fundraising. There's a link in the description below to donate directly to Macmillan. If you donate directly there, then they will get 100% of the money. If you do choose to do it through a super chat, that's absolutely up to you. And you don't even have to. It's absolutely fine. But if you do it through a super chat, obviously YouTube take a cut, and then we'll transfer the money over once it's finished, and we'll match it. Should we match it as well?
We'll match it.
We'll match it on top. So yeah, whatever you put in, we'll match it as well. And so yeah, we'll release that whenever. But yeah, if you want to donate, then any ways possible. Just watching the stream does it. Watching the video does it. If you want to do a super chat or a super thanks or whatever the super things are, then go for that. If not, it's the link in the description below to donate directly to Macmillan Cancer Support, and we and they obviously thank you very much.
Yeah, and financially, look, no pressure at all. If you even just share the tweet, more people will watch it, and that will create ad revenue, which will then move across to Macmillan. So, that's all we ask, really. Do that, and let's get them some money.
Moving on, so we'll just do a quick league update because it's end of game week, so we can do that. What you can see on the left is the public league. So the league code is 1Feb93 and is currently being led by Anis Ben Salah over Priced FC. Clearly an Arsenal fan, so not so. I mean, he must be an Arsenal fan with that with that team name. So currently sitting at 131 in the world, 733 points. Return of the Bobby, Harrison Radford is second on 724, and then Pontus Gunlick is third at 719, who is forever QPR. Lots of people captaining Salah this week. And then over in the Discord, this is just our we do have a Discord league, and we have like a monthly league, and our Discord guys get to win one of these, which is a one of our poker chips, which you can't see because it's not very Well, anyway, it says manager of the month. And so Philippe has won this month, 257 points, massive. I'm sorry, Nick Jackson. And just to let you know that Erky, who's in third in this month, he is leading at the moment with 663 points overall in that league. So, well done to you guys. You're all smashing it. Let's go to our scores.
Look at so many of these like bigger leagues, and like people are like 100 points ahead of you, and plus, and you're like, bloody hell.
Well, I mean, and Anis is 150 points ahead of me.
Yeah,
and he's 150 points ahead of me. That's like 3 game weeks. We've only had 10.
It is. It's mad. Some of the points out there are absolutely mad. Fair play.
Fair play. So, moving on to our game week scores. So, I'll start. I have 52 points. Red Arrow down to 2.8 million from 1.8 million. I have an Areola in goal, as did many. Share, Cash, and Trips at back, which was fine. Doku obviously, rested after his excellent performances in the last few weeks. Thanks very much. Ward-Prowse, shit. Thanks. Madison, I'm done with him. He's gone. Madison, 6. Good. Salah, 8 points. Alvarez, fine. No issues with Alvarez, really. Haaland does Haaland, and Watkins does nothing this week for me. I brought in him and Palmer for Archer and Rashford. So, yeah, that hadn't worked out this week, but the captaincy's a bit annoying.
It's really annoying.
It's really annoying because I found myself in this bizarre situation where, if you can see on there, the top 10k EOs are really, really bizarre compared to mine. So obviously Salah was at like 150, but for me, he was like 94. So I still gained rank with Salah. Great. Haaland, 71% in the top 10k and then 115 for me. Just shows how shit my rank is. And so, Haaland hurt me. And so like the only person that could hurt me in this side actually did hurt me. So thanks. And then Watkins, above 100% in the top 10k and, 76 odd for me. And so, what this says to me is it actually means that it's actually squeezed. Like, it means the ranks have squeezed. Like, it has to.
Yeah.
Because all of the higher ranks have been captain in Haaland. You can see that is over 100 odd %. And the top 10k didn't. So the whole game is just squeezed in game week 10. You might not notice it, but it kind of has.
I think, for me, like we talked about this on Friday night, but people tweet about, oh my God, this on the this percentage rank and so forth, because the first thing that always comes out is like the top 10k ones, and it's not where everyone is. But I almost feel like I'm just ignoring EO. Like you mentioned stuff to me, and I was like, I didn't actually know what the EOs some of them are, and it's like we're all in weird brackets, and we're all looking for the same end goal of just getting as high as possible. And I almost feel like I say, it's just not worth trying to play a weird ownership game in your head or try and think about it. You just got to be thinking points. How do I get the best points? How does my team feel? Okay. I don't think you can cover all the players as well that can hurt you. That's like the template FC type world. It's hard to do. You can't cover them all. You're going to go up against 7-8 players that are 20%, 25% plus, and they all hurt up to 50 odd % and the rest. So therefore, I feel it's never, in a strange way, it's never been better that you just don't have to. I just don't think you should need to look at EO anymore.
Yeah.
Like, just do I like my team? Yeah, good.
Well, tell us your team then for people that are listening.
Yeah, so I took a hit because I brought in Diaby last week. And because just in case Botman didn't play, and luckily he didn't play, and I had Diaby in place. So a lot of people were going in with 2 transfers, and I still wanted to make 2 transfers, so I did. I took out JWP, I brought in a Dingra, and that freed up the money that I didn't have to sell Madison. And then I did Alvarez to Watkins.
Yeah.
So no pays on the transfers that I've made, but I'm much, much happier with them that I've still kept Madison in place. And I've got rid of JWP, who we hate.
We do now.
Just from that Thursday night conversation, I was like, I want my time. I want some Brighton action. But I was like, just can't bear the idea that I'm losing Madison yet. And also didn't have a Saka plan. So I was like, actually, I can definitely move a Share or Porro to Simicast probably this week. The early thoughts are Share to Simicast makes an easy move, and then I've got well over £1 million in the bank. If I want Saka, I've got straight Maddison to Saka move in 12. So felt like I was setting myself up a little bit more sensible rather than just trying to push for this week. And then got some luck. Diaby obviously just smashes it. That's the big he is. I captain Salah, and Diaby gets 13 points, and obviously I get 5 points for Share when everybody else got 0 points for all their defenders that they had from Newcastle. Was fuming about the Porro lost points Friday night, but hey, Son gained some points from it. You just don't get as many of them because people owned him. But that's another kick for you, isn't it? But not owning Son goes from not in the bonus at all to top bonus.
So it is more annoying because it's fine because the Tottenham defenders are not very highly owned, so 4 points off each of those guys is fine, and not a huge deal. But that 3 points locking itself into Son was a pain.
It's a hurt for both of us in a way. So 76 points in the end net after 80 minus 4. 2 good weeks in the end, and Spurs boys have done well for me. So nice having triple Spurs. That's done well for me last Monday and Friday.
Good stuff. Before we go into the games, just a quick shout out to those that have already popped super chats into the chat. So Kev has whacked €50 in there. Thank you very much to you, Kev. I will come to Matt's in a second. Jamie's £5. Thank you very much for that. Mark Dorney with a tenner, Pete with a tenner, Steve with a tenner, and Matt with a fiver. Thanks very much to you guys. Really appreciate it. Matt Evans has put in 20 quid and he's asked, good evening, in true Emery style. For fun, predict the Haaland EO for next week. Because it's
165.
Are we talking top 10k? Because
I am going to say top million. I'm only ever going to quote stuff as top million.
Top million. Okay, so he was 115 roughly, 110. Top million. Yeah, I'll say 175. I think it'll be higher. Obviously, it won't be as high as that in. Do
you think that
in top 10
any Liverpool fans are not going to captain Salah against Luton away?
This is true, but I just don't. I can't. I mean, maybe. Why would you? If you have Haaland, why would you not captain him against Bournemouth at home? Like,
I get it.
I don't get it.
I get that people would cap in, but would you be surprised if Salah braced at Luton? You wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, I suppose not.
And you're not
wouldn't surprise me if Haaland scored 5.
You ain't getting much from wherever Salah does this week.
No, because everyone's got him now.
I still think Plenty will captain him, but Haaland, it's the easy choice, isn't it? It's home, it's Bournemouth. We'll talk about Bournemouth when we get to the games. But I think more 165, 170.
Yeah. Fair enough. I suppose we better talk about some games.
Who's first?
We have Arsenal first. I didn't think we could start without mentioning Praz straight away. I just wanted to mention Praz more than anything. Here, so cheers to Praz. I haven't got a drink, which is sad actually. Maybe I'll text the wife. I mean, obviously the Nketiah punt was huge for Praz. I mean, all 3 goals were good. From Nketiah, really good. I mean, the third, if ever you're going to score a hat trick, I mean, you'd dream for it to be finished that way, wouldn't you?
Banger.
You could just tell he was like, I just shift it. Didn't even look up, and then top corner. Yeah, okay, thanks very much.
He's always been able to bang though. Whenever he plays, like he loves that. It doesn't normally go that way. Actually, he normally opens his body. When he hits. So to hit through one was different for him. So really good finish. But the boy can bang. I guess probably the thoughts are on Friday when we knew that Jesus was out, like immediately it made me a lot more comfortable not to go Arsenal, because I was like, well, Eddie hogs all the chances, but nothing in my brain. Even Praz texted me and said, well, maybe what you could do is ignore Watkins and go to Nketiah. I couldn't actually do it. I still had to sell Maddison. I couldn't go Ward Prowse up to Saka and Alvarez down to Nketiah. That wasn't enough money. So I wasn't particularly serious in doing it. But my brain never said, look at Nketiah this week, despite the fact that my brain also said, I reckon I can get away with no Arsenal this week because of Nketiah, will probably hoggle the chances.
I think that was it. We sort of went, well, Saka's going to be nullified, and Martinelli is always nullified when Nketiah's on the pitch. We know that. You know, I mean, he had 4 shots, right? 3 on target.
I thought
3 goals.
I thought Marty was still. I mean, he hits it like that chance that was near post that Fotheringham actually did save one, but he just wants goal. Like when you can feel the eye of the tiger with Martinelli, he just wants goals, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he was taking corners, which I thought was good for Marty as well. And obviously Saka's assist he gets from those. So you still got the fact that Saka and Martinelli are taking corners. Odegaard not in.
Again, I mean, this one for me, I felt like it was a game where Arteta just felt they were going to win anyway because it didn't matter. Like people just saying, it might have been a tactical change just not to deal with, but just for this kind of game. I don't read anything into Gabriel or Odegaard not playing this week.
The only thing is though, if they were playing well, but we literally talked last week about how bad Odegaard's been playing. We literally went through talking about the fact that he averages like less than 0.1 XA per game, and it's not good enough. And then hey ho, he doesn't turn out for the weekend. Surely, if he was happy with him and the fact that he's not been doing enough, like the best thing you'd do would be give him a big old positive vibes by playing him. You know, I'm not sure. Havertz totally played that role down that right-hand side. And we've seen him do that before. I actually thought he was quite good doing that sometimes at Chelsea, where we just hang out right. And it did mean that Saka actually played really high on that right and might not have to do as much work. So maybe it's a Saka ploy as much as anything else, is that it frees him up. Just didn't see it in the end product from Saka in this game. In fact, Havertz had more non-penalty XG than Saka. But look, they were always going to sit in deep as they could. I mean, this is the most one-sided chart you'll ever see. It's just it's just them.
But then we knew. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. 0.03 is quite special. But we had a friend of ours in WhatsApp. He was like, "Is there any chance of a Sheffield United defensive masterclass wonder performance this weekend?" I just flat out just went, "No, they've got no players."
No,
like they've got 2 more injuries or had before the start of the game week than any other team. They were just going to get battered.
It's nothing happening until the goal, and then blood's in the water, and you're like, well, that's it, and nothing I can do now.
Yeah.
Great touch, that first goal.
Yeah, really good. Got across him. The defender.
It looks so good that I can't quite work out whether Rice meant it to be behind and he'd take that forward or not. As not saying about is Odegaard injured? Yeah, conveniently he is injured, but I'm just saying I'm not sure it is an injury.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Let's see how that goes.
Fair enough.
What do you do if you got Gabriel?
Just keep him. I don't think Gabriel's not a threat for me. Easy game.
I think
rest. Lots of games. Champions League. They in the League Cup as well?
I assume so, but the game away to Newcastle, I don't think many would be playing him anyway, away to Newcastle.
No. Well, I mean, depends. Like, Danny's going to play him, I assume.
Well, to be fair, I'd play Lascelles over Gabriel. He played the home.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
He played the home.
But I think most might just roll him out.
Yeah. But I think you've got a week to see. But if he don't play next week, then it's even bigger. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. People are gonna sell it, all gonna sell him, and then they're gonna play Burnley.
Yeah.
And it'll play.
Of course.
That's how the game works.
Of course.
I think you should have a week
on this.
No, I think you've just got to wait. I don't think you should bring Nketiah in this week. I don't think, because most of us have an Alvarez, a Darwin, a Watkins as those other strikers. No way that you should be moving them to Nketiah this week with the fixtures that they've got compared to the fixtures that the others have got. So I think you've got another week.
Cool. Let's move on to the league leaders. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
How did you feel this game went, mate?
Are we boring?
Boring?
Are we?
I don't think so. I think we've had a couple of. I think the Fulham game wasn't great, but I think this is just a game where you go to a Hodgson side that just makes it difficult. And they kicked us for the first half. Like we couldn't create any chances because they kicked us for the first half. So, that's basically it. We're still not dynamically creating a lot of chances, the bigger chances that we want to see. I guess watching it as a fan.
I just wonder what other teams think when they just see the keeper and the two centre backs literally just dominating the ball continuously. They're really special. Those three are unbelievably special. They're everything, because there's not many better ball playing centre backs than Van der Ven and Romero, and they're constantly looking for. It's like a quarterback. They're just sitting there. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And they'll just keep waiting for it to happen. It's a very, very good way of us now playing against the more low blocking teams is to weirdly pass back and forth between your keeper and centre back, because they're so good that when they decide to make the move and run with it, that we overload. But I do find it really interesting, if I was watching the other team, is that we're now a team that's basically playing for massive moments. It doesn't show in the XG chart but around that 20-minute mark, Maddison should have picked out Son. That's a huge chance. It's a huge chance in the game. It's not a huge chance in XG.
Yeah.
That they played around, played Maddison in. It was a really easy ball to just play Son in, and he messed it.
Yeah.
But we're looking for magic moments. We're not actually playing a lot in that final third. Just push teams.
But I don't mind this against a Palace away.
No.
I don't mind that against that. I mean, and you'll find, when we play the Villas, the Liverpools and Newcastles, whatever, is obviously they're going to press a lot higher, and we've already shown that we can beat press. We can beat the press.
Yeah.
Because they're, technically at the back better than we've had before. And, we can move them.
They're exceptional, like beyond exceptional. Like even when Højbjerg came on versus Bissouma, you suddenly saw a slight drop off in the crispness. You will never find more crisp passes than we've got at the back. I mean, Romero and Van der Ven had more passes than the rest of Palace combined.
Well, Romero had 141 and Palace had 147. Yeah. So,
I just find it from a fantasy perspective, a strange way to watch it. I think what we have to understand is that even once we conceded, Romero still gets 2 bonus. Romero is just an unbelievably solid asset. Like people should start thinking of him more like a share type player. In that, yes, he's a centre back, but he's gold. Like he's going to get a lot of points this season.
Yeah.
I'll put out now. I think Romero will be more than 150 points coming into the season for a sub 5 million defender. Just because I can't see a time where he doesn't get the bonus and he creates chances and he scores, because we've got not a lot in the air. I also think I won't own him in any game week at all this season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, what is he? Is he 5? He's a 5 guy, isn't he? So
I think he's like 4.8, 4.9.
He must have dropped. Maybe he's dropped.
But also because obviously we've got no striker as well. So because we've got no striker, like it's really hard to beat Romero if we get a clean.
Yeah.
Really hard. We're talking like 18, 19 every week on the baseline into the 30s. It's really, really hard, especially because Son, all of his good stuff is like work off the ball more than anything else and then plays for moments. Son's not going to get 30 passes in a game. It's not going to happen. He's not taking set pieces like he used to a few years ago. So, of course, he gets the bonus in this because the late, but he wasn't even in the bonus until the end of it. I just don't see any of the other defenders getting anywhere near Romero in any week.
Well, he's got to do the good stuff as well, though. They've got to do the other good stuff, the tackling, the blocks, and all that as well, because you only need.
He's a maniac.
I know he is, but you only need like 30 passes to get that passing one. But like even Van der Ven, like 96 successful passes out of 97, like a 99% completion rate. These boys, it's just incredible.
We did the old, I think it was on the bonus pod, wasn't it? I did the old cat and dog situation where I was explaining that one. And if anyone doesn't understand, cat is basically a sweeper. They hang back, they pounce on things they need to do. They do the stuff. Dog is you just send them, you just run them at the attacker. They're the attacking one. And previously under the old remit, Dyer would play cat, the sweeper, who actually didn't have the physical presence to do so, and Romero would play the dog. So Romero's played a dog for most of his career. He's a dog at Atalanta. He was a dog for Spurs. And since Van der Ven's come in, because Van der Ven is such a dog, he's literally just he's like as close to like Ricardo Carvalho for like a full-on dog, just go at it type player. Romero now plays cat, so he now sweeps up. And he's doing it all the time. He comes across the left and he just boots the ball out sometimes, late tackles. They all earn you bonus points. He's the one permanently covering for Van der Ven. So it's almost impossible, unless Van der Ven scores, to ever outscore him on the baseline.
This is true, yeah.
No, the fullbacks don't cross, so therefore they've got a score to beat him. Like, we don't concede enough shots for, and Vicario is brilliant when he does it, but he's not saving 6, 7 in a game. He's saving 3 perhaps. So Romero's going to be top every time we clean. He's a really good asset.
We're still conceding chances though. We're still conceding. Like I was just thinking, like how are people thinking that we're a bad defense? And I'm just looking back and going like, well, 0.6 XGC
we're
against
risky.
Fulham. This is
we're
true.
Risky. We're a risky defense. It's horrible. Like me owning Porro in that game, I was thinking it was going to happen at any moment. We were going to do something stupid, and hey, guess what?
Like this is our best defensive performance this season. Like this is literally our best expected data defensive performance this season.
Yeah.
Did it feel like it?
Well, it just felt so controlled. It felt so controlled with it. But we have to invite these sort of teams onto us. So we need the space to enable us to get the space back the other way. That's what we're clever at doing.
Which is a bit of a Conteism, but it just feels like it's done better at the moment. It just feels like it's done better because we attack with more people.
I say I don't know we ever end up there, but when the fixtures start to get a bit better again, like 15 odd time.
50, I love that. Straight into West Ham.
Yeah. Then I'm maybe, but I think I'm never going to go Porro to Romero, so I haven't got it. But if I didn't have any of the Spurs defense, and when I was then coming back to it, I think Romero's the one.
Fair enough. Anyone else? I mean, you're just happy to keep Son and move Maddison on is your plan.
It is.
I've got a decision on Maddison.
Mate, that Wolves game away in 12 is not, because if Neto is out, Wolves are a different proposition. We'll have to see how that works out.
Well, fortunately, we get to see them against Sheffield United next week, which is
there is the option. Like, if you've got Maddo and you're like me, where you're thinking, well, Maddo is my Saka placeholder, there might be a world where I just go Archer to Nketiah and I bench somebody else and I just play Nketiah in that week.
Okay.
We shall see.
Okay. Moving on to Aston Villa versus Luton.
You should start this one off, mate. You captain Ollie.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, I mean, he gets a big chance early on, and I don't know. I only really watched the last 25 minutes of this, I suppose, because I was watching Liverpool in the first half instead. But to say that I'm disappointed with coming away with a 2-pointer from this is a bit of an understatement, because I brought him in specifically for this fixture, and he hasn't produced the goods. And we've been talking about him saying I'm the big dog, and then look who the main man is with his arms held aloft in the air right there.
I think the interesting of what I saw, it was because of how Luton were and so forth, and I think you will find this against teams where they're favourites, that they all over Watkins. So Watkins' chances came about when they were in a full attack, but when they transitioned, it's not Watkins that's getting into the... He literally said on that interview last week, he's no longer running the channels. Like, he's not doing any of that stuff. He's just standing up the top now. Well, if you watch, like, the own goal, Diaby makes like a 40-yard run and he goes and they ping it over the top. Watkins is still holding that space. Interestingly, in these
he's literally standing there forward, as well.
Yeah. Obviously, if it doesn't get to Lockyer, then Watkins tapped it in. But what we saw was the runners were actually the team, the way that they broke Luton down on this one. It ended up becoming a lot of decoy second half. But if he puts away that early chance, who knows? Because again, I feel like he's greedy. Like, once he scored one, you do back that he probably would have got more. But he didn't. And like, as the game got on more, I feel they just stuck. They did like, oh, we'll mark Watkins, but everybody else had the chance to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah. 1.4 non-penalty XGI. It's just...
It's great. It's great.
It's great. Unless you... it's great unless they doesn't actually turn it into anything.
Yeah. I guess the only other thing for us to keep an eye on is obviously that he played... We talked about it, but he played the 85 minutes on Thursday. Diaby didn't. So, Diaby was going to be fresher than him in this game.
I mean, Diaby came off again today. I mean, he didn't bring Watkins off in the end, did he? I don't think.
No. But that's because it's an easy change, isn't it? And, give him the old hero's ovation, mate. He came off once the game was done. He came off only with 5 minutes to go, mate. Like, it's not like, oh God, I came off after 70 minutes.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, we've had this early in the season. We thought Diaby was the one, and next week Watkins was the one. I guess, probably from it, we don't know which games are going to be for which of them, and sometimes it'll be for both.
So just don't cap him, basically.
Yeah, really good owns. I'm not sure they're good caps.
Yeah, no, fair. Felt like everyone got lucky with the cash. Obviously.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That was nice. Well, that's a win for non-wildcard 10 players, because there was a lot of wildcard 10ers that couldn't afford him.
Yeah. That's true, because some would be on Dean, right?
Dean, Powell, seen some on those ones, and obviously they lost out. Cash got it cleared off.
Fair enough. Anything else to add?
Move on.
Moving on.
Move on.
Liverpool, Forest. Forest are bad.
Forest are bad. Interestingly, on this, before this started, like, if we played a game where you could move captain, so you weren't locked in on captain, you could just keep moving your captain until they've played. Yeah.
Okay.
Before the game started, I would have switched it to Watkins. As soon as I knew Jota and Darwin were playing instead of Diaz, I would have moved it from Salah to Watkins. Because I just feel that, what we saw is you've suddenly got 3 guys that just want to score. But I feel like
Salah was unbelievable in that first half. Like, it was ridiculous. And his pass for Nunes. Is it for Nunes? For the Jota goal?
Yeah. Mo's all round play compared to Darwin's and Jota's is like all for the team. Like, he's now a really good team player, Mo. That's why we've seen so much more bonus on him. But Darwin and Jota just want to score goals. So it was no surprise to me that the first 2 goals were Darwin and Jota. Like, no surprise whatsoever. Yeah. And so if I knew that it was both of those 2, I'd have been a lot less inclined to captain Mo. Obviously, hopefully for Diaz, everything's going to be okay, in his world. But as soon as I knew those other 2 were on, I was like, that's not great as a mocap. And genuinely, bar Matt Turner stupidness, Mo could have blanked.
Yeah. What is he doing there?
Oh dear.
What is he doing there?
Nah, but you got to think that's him done, yeah.
Is it Odysseus comes in?
Yeah, that's the only bad thing for people like us. Like, we'll have to pronounce that rather than Matt Turner.
We'll make it work. We'll find a way. We'll find out what the correct pronunciation is.
We will find a way. But yeah, really dominant. Szoboszlai's a problem if you own Trent, isn't he? Because he's in that, as our friend Hibbo likes to say, the right half space. And he gets top bonus, 2 assists today, 12 points. No goals, 12 points.
Is he taking some set pieces as well? Did he take some corners today and stuff? Like,
yeah.
He's just taking bits away from Trent that made Trent in the past.
He's just a
he's superb.
Said it last week. He's just an this is like Kevin De Bruyne style.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
This is that level of good. Yeah, I'm not saying he's Kevin, but he's about as close as there is in the league to that type of player. Like, this is a player where you can imagine paying 10 million for him at some point, because he's brand new to the league. Like, he's only going to get better.
Yeah,
7 million. I do think Szoboszlai is a player we could end up having. He's just, you just watch him and think, he's just unbelievable. If you think about De Bruyne last season, and he had Haaland to aim at, and really that's it, in terms of goals. But this guy's got, if he's behind Darwin, Salah, and Jota,
and you replace either of those, fire them in any direction.
And then when they get a bit tired, we'll bring Gakpo and Diaz on. He's just gonna have so many assists and so many key passes, and he can bang.
His baseline was 26.
He's a monster.
3 big chances, 4 key passes, 2 crosses, 3 dribbles.
He is not JWP.
No, he's not.
He is not JWP. He is just such a boy. And he's nailed. Like, proper nailed.
Yeah, he's proper nailed. How much is he? 7.5?
7 million.
7 million.
That. Like 7.2 or something like that.
Fuck, I might just get him.
Yeah.
I might just get him, to be honest.
Can you get JWP to Szoboszlai?
Yeah, I can do that. Piece of piss. I can do share down to Tsimikas, JWP. Can I do that?
Mate.
I'm going to check before we go anywhere else. Let me just check, see if I can do that. I don't care.
We want to go big, like share down to Tsimikas.
Super
when we
cool
get to Newcastle, we'll talk about that.
Share's 5-1. I get 5-1 for share as well.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's do this. Share to Tsimikas. Tsimikas is 4.5. That's
6.
Nice.
Tsimikas going up tonight, I think.
I've only got 6.8, so I don't think I can do. Yeah, I'm 0.2 short, but
I'll
find a way. I'll find a way. Palace's fixtures are getting better, aren't they? Oh, Palace's fixtures just turn. Anderson just becomes a lock in my team, surely.
And then you're going to go cheap, and oh god.
And I just been.
We'll save this for Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun to look at. I can get Soboslai in there.
Man,
why don't I just get? I can't do Doku because he's Bournemouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just in case he plays. Oh, fuck, I got to do that next week.
Wait for the predictions,
and then take a hit to get him out.
Mm-hmm.
Talking of Man City.
This is horrific. 4 XG at Old Trafford.
They just got absolutely. Well, it's 4, but it's like 3.2, really, isn't it? Forgetting the penalty. Let's talk about it. Let's just talk about that because there's nothing really else to really talk about here about how poor United were in comparison. Is it a penalty?
I like it as a penalty. I like it. I like that as a VAR penalty. I like it. Feels clever.
Just never given though. Apart from this one, it just isn't ever given.
It doesn't when we go to the next game in Newcastle and we know that Wilson's been pulled down by the shirt and it's down by his navel. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And United fans rightfully bringing back the Haaland against Arsenal one and Gabriel.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I posted a picture of.
Although I mentioned the fact that was it last week when Maguire just literally just bundled the guy in the air.
Yeah.
All these stupid things do happen.
But the point is it right that some are penalties and some are not when they're all kind of the same?
No. No, I'd love it. But,
like the Sterling one yesterday. I know you don't agree with this, but there's like the Sterling one yesterday as well. To some extent. Just smacks him in the back, pushes him. Nah, no pen.
Anyway.
Like, I don't know whether they were. I'm just one more thing. I don't know whether the VAR was just looking.
I know he saved the penalty in midweek, but right. We all know that's where Haaland goes. He literally hasn't got any other pen. Yeah. He just puts it in that bottom right corner every single time. And he still went bottom left. He's never put one in the other corner ever. And he still went the other side.
Did it come up the little Sky Sports box? Did it come up with where all his pens were?
No, I don't know. But I was immediately waiting because he does it and he carries on running, doesn't he? He's done that thing. He does it and then he carries on running in the same direction and does it.
It just keeps his momentum going.
Yeah. The first ever one he did it, he did and just kept running, and he's just done it a million times.
You feel like, the robot will malfunction if it doesn't follow that code.
Yeah, it's just it does feel completely automated. If you're going to do that and keep going, and he goes the other way, so stupid. But yeah, it's soft. But hey, I mean, the save from Onana just before halftime against Haaland,
even the save. I mean, yes, that's unbelievable. He makes what look like good saves. A lot of them are really just bad. They're either bad positioning or the actual save itself is bad. Like the one earlier on in the first half where he just where Haaland almost got it to it the second time. It looks great when he gets to it the second time. Yeah. But he's kind of like half dived out the way and then sort of pushed it up in the air and then just creates another he's just a terrible keeper. He's a bad keeper. He's a bad keeper behind Evans
a long time ago.
Dalot, Maguire.
Get him gone. But get Ten Hag on, mate. There's no chance. There's literally, we can clip this a million times. There's zero chance on earth that there's a good outcome from Ten Hag and Man United. Nothing. There's nothing about it that can go, I enjoy this. You can't enjoy it. There's no way on earth you enjoy it. Just refuse to believe it. Like, you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself because they're a good club with good morals that do good things and stand by their managers and don't just bin them off. But it doesn't mean he's a bad manager. Moyes got the sack there. It happened. Like, Moyes has done really well, at West Ham since onwards for that. But it just wasn't going to work. Like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
And that gap is getting big. The Villa aren't going away. Like, they're on 22 points. These are down. And like that gap's already huge. And Villa have got 2 good fixtures coming up. They'll be long clear in the top 4 as well with the current top 4. So that top 5 has already got a 5-point gap on the 6th place.
That's it.
It's
They've got Fulham, Luton, and Everton to handle next 3. They need 9 points. They need 9 points because then 3 out of the next 4 are pretty bad.
There's zero chance they are sacking him. Because they're not that club. But the best way they could get 9 points is that he's not there.
Yeah,
he's miserable. You can't have their players. It doesn't matter what the fixtures are. You can't have their players.
Is Jack in now?
Well, again,
because that first half, he was ridiculous.
Pep's not stupid, mate. We literally called it and said they can't just keep doing this like in the way that they're playing. It's so one-dimensional. Jack carries the ball and keeps the teams pinned in so that everybody else can have some more fun.
So what you're saying is Arteta watched us last week and dropped Odegaard because we pointed out he was crap, and then Pep watched us and also, yeah, okay, cool.
What I'm saying is, if we pick it up,
yeah, exactly.
We ain't professionals. So if we're picking it up, like imagine what they're picking up. Like imagine what their Monday morning debriefs like. If this is what other Sunday debriefs like just
did you catch that above average FPL?
Do you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, boys, watch what you're doing. This is rubbish. So. Yeah, he must realise that Jack he has to play because he's so comfortable on the ball so high. Then everybody else gets higher, and teams then struggle. Jack rarely does the final thing particularly well, does he? So what he actually does is he carries it to the good place and then he gives it. What that did mean was that Alvarez then came to him a lot. Foden was further away, so it didn't work. But Alvarez is almost like comes the closest person to him. So even like corners, it was like this little 2-man thing, and you weren't sure whether Alvarez was going to get across or not. So he pulled him away from goal quite a lot. I thought Alvarez. That's not ideal. But they've got Bournemouth next, so
they won't need Bernardo basically.
Nah. So if you've got Alvarez, great. I am 40% own. I am crapping myself about the fact I've just sold Alvarez and he's got Bournemouth next. Keep
it's weird. I feel uncomfortably comfortable that I have 3 City assets moving into that next game.
Doku is potentially a problem, but the good thing about Bournemouth is they're almost strict 4-4-2 in how they're kind of set up and how they defend, which means that he's going to be so isolated. Doku will be able to completely isolate the right back if they play him on that left side, and it just demolish him. I'd be very surprised if they don't play Doku next week because I think they'll just think you're going to take him apart.
Yeah,
and they've got
Max
Europe
Aarons,
the week after, haven't they?
Max Aarons,
exactly. Yeah,
I think he'd fancy that battle.
Yeah.
Or even if he played him on the right, even if he played him on the right like he did in midweek, I suppose that means Alvarez drops out. But yeah, Lloyd Kelly. So yeah, no danger.
Yeah.
But just needs to play him. Just need to get lucky to play him. But you just keep an eye. The good thing is it's Saturday deadline, so you've got a bit more time to hopefully get some stronger predictions of what we know. Yeah. Anything else on United assets other than bad? Don't get them.
It's so tough. If you've got Bruno, you just got to keep him for these games. Got to. What else do you do about it? And if you've got Dalot, you got to play him.
Well, I mean, you say you just got to keep him for these 3 games. I mean, like Liverpool have got Luton, Brentford, Brighton have got Everton, Sheffield United, Villa have got Forest and Fulham. Arsenal have Burnley.
If you offered me points for the next few games of Szoboszlai or Bruno, who'd I rather have?
Yeah, I mean, you could easily just go. I mean, here's a list of players that you could go to from Bruno Fernandes that have better fixtures over the next 3: Mitoma, Diaby, probably maybe even Maddison, maybe next 2 games. Bowen, obviously, and then you've got Martinelli, Saka. Pick one.
And they're cheaper. All these
are cheaper. All of these are cheaper.
But you might play if you haven't got Saka and Martinelli, for example, you might just go, I'm going to go one more week of Bruno, and then I'll move him.
Yeah, I guess with Arsenal and Newcastle.
But we've been doing this for weeks. We've been doing this for weeks.
Yeah, Sheffield United next, etc., etc.
Doing this for weeks. I reckon that late booking for Bruno as well might tip a few.
It might, yeah. I mean, yeah, was he 4 now as well? I didn't see it. I was eating. I was done by then.
He just had enough. He'd had enough all that second half, mate. He's had enough.
Yeah,
he's had enough. Like
he's a petulant child. I mean, he does that stuff. Like it doesn't. He gets frustrated in these games, and he just does that.
He knows his manager's useless.
Yeah. Wolves Newcastle. So I had double Newcastle defence, but I did have share, so I did get some points, which was nice.
Shout out to Rich Clark, did Wilson on Wildcard. Good man.
I mean, that was always a good pick as well, because obviously Isaac coming off after 2 minutes or whatever it was in midweek, he was always going to be an option. He was always
such a rich pick, Wilson over Darwin. Such a rich pick, but both did well this week. But yeah, enjoyed it. And as I said, if he got the penalty late on, hat trick time, even better. We know he's good. We know he's good. He's going to continue to be good. Have we got transfers to get there? No.
I mean, outside of literally those 2 chances, though, the game was pretty even.
Yeah, well, I thought Wolves were good.
I thought Wolves were all right, particularly in the first half.
Neto's, it's just such a big loss. It's such a big loss. Like that looked like it snapped, mate. That's.
Oh yeah, looking at the tweets that came out, it was the mechanism's called shot by sniper. That's actually what it's called. Like literally all of the injury websites and Twitter accounts are calling it shot by sniper because it does literally look like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but.
And I say that the share decision was the right decision.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty in a million years. I do not understand it. Wolves are getting absolutely battered by decisions. They've been battered by decisions. Also, poor Gary O'Neill. I mean, what he says in his interview is absolutely right. He's like, I don't even bother talking anymore because I'll get in trouble. And like, until they get up to the standard required, then I don't care. It just is what it is.
It's never a penalty. It's never a penalty. But it looks a penalty enough that you get that Anthony Taylor's given it.
I get it on field. I get it on field. There's no excuse for it not. Like you can physically see Hwang stop.
You can see him stop, but people try to take too far. They say there's no contact. There was contact.
There was contact.
His shin hit his shin.
There's contact. It doesn't make it a penalty.
So is it? This is the bit where I'm like, I don't know whether it's a clear and obvious error or not, because he's given the penalty. Like this is one of those ones where if it was like Hawkeye at cricket, it's just it looks like it's missed, and you'd be like, why are you still giving umpire's decision on this? And I'm like, I kind of get it. Says the man who owns share and doesn't own any other Newcastle defence. But I do partially understand how it ended up staying, despite the fact that Share has just dived. Like you can see that Share turns his foot to dive. He's literally just dived. Like it's a blatant dive. So I'd love nothing more than for VAR to say, actually, you've dived, mate. And it's that bit we've said before. You'd like the actual ref to walk the player over to the monitor and say, just explain what you've done there, mate. Yeah. Just explain what you've done. Just explain why your foot has turned that weird way so that you can fall over.
I get that, but it kind of feels like policeman criminal type thing where the bad guy, the accused person gets shown on a security camera, goes, "Can you please explain this?" Is that not you putting the Daz detergent inside your coat?
I want Taylor pointing at him and then pointing at the screen. So tell us what you've done there, mate. There's your yellow. Piss off. Because he has dived. Like, he completely dived. But like, partially a little bit of, I don't feel bad on Anthony Taylor, certainly. I feel like that was the right thing that Anthony Taylor gave it.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that because it looked at the time, because Hwang's looking to clear it, right?
Yeah.
But then we say that obviously Wilson should have had a penalty later on.
Sell Newcastle defence at home to Arsenal next week?
If you need to fund Dominic Szoboszlai, then yes.
It's a tough game.
Look, I'd still want one. I still want one, and that one for me still needs to be Trips.
Yeah, I mean, just know if you sell Share next week. Like, I'm looking at selling Share next week, and I know he's only like 5% owned, but he's a lot more on that than people that we talk to. You're then Trippier's still 50% owned. Just still going up against a really good person at home, and Share at home scores goals. He scores a lot of goals at home. Like, he almost had a big chance at the end.
Yeah, from Trips.
From Trips. Yeah, you enjoyed that.
Yeah, one at the back post, and then Trips got booked about 30 seconds later. I was raging.
I'm really in two minds of Share to Simicast, because it looks such a great fixture. They're playing Luton, as opposed to just play Share and have 2 free transfers and work it out next week. Really not 100% sure.
I might just go Share to Charlie Taylor.
Well, that is worth talking about.
What a segue. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1.
Did you hear him on Match of the Day? Did they say that it was his first goal since 2015?
Yeah. We've had him in FPL teams for we've had him in FPL so many times thinking that he might do something. We've had him in double game weeks, we've had him in this and that. I felt like he'd scored a goal for us at some point.
I felt like he scored a goal for me. I'm sure he scored goals for me. But right, if you wildcarded this week and you had Gabriel and you had Charlie Taylor and you'd happen to have him as your first defender on the bench and he came on for you, and not only did he score, but almost then got an assist as well at the end, like, which probably would have made him top bonus, I imagine.
Oh, you've had it off. You've just absolutely had it off.
But even just getting 6 points from him this week,
it's disgusting.
Wow. When people have got 0 points from Trippier, I got 2 points from Porro because of a late handball, and you got 6. That's
there's all sorts of shit coming off the bench for Gabriel, Charlie Taylor, Mbeumo. Like, there's just loads of it.
Yeah, it's
disgusting.
Phenomenal, disgusting. But Burnley are they're rank. They're rank, like, and they're open enough that bad stuff's going to happen. We could talk for a long time about more. I mean, can you believe at 2-1 down, so would have made it 2-2? Like, they made fans wait 7 minutes for an offside decision at the end of a game.
Yeah.
Injury time, like 7 minutes.
No, yeah, and then because what happened is they had an angle where they marked it as onside. Like,
but they'd marked it onside, but you could see that half his body was past the line.
I don't know.
Like, you could see that one with naked eye. There's somewhere it's like, well, this fails. How about we just look at it and say, is it offside? Because you could tell it was offside.
How about we just get the automated stuff in? And just so
it's not good enough for fans that you've just taken that time. Other than that, you can't pick players from these teams and play them. Even Solanke. If Solanke ain't scoring against Burnley, nah.
Yeah.
Some finish from Billing.
It is. Trafford's positioning Trafford is standing in fucking Southampton.
Yeah, I dislike that Trafford got a touch to it. It makes it not quite, when it's not quite clean. Do you know what I mean? Like the Sun
I
goal.
I have to bring up the Kane one now, don't I?
Yeah, that's clean.
That was clean.
But like the Sun goal Friday night was a brilliant goal.
Yeah.
But because there was like a couple of little touches on it on the way through, I'm like, well, it's a really good goal, but it's not like, I'm not going to remember it forever. It's not that great. This is a bit like that with Billing. Like he looks up, he sees him off his line, he hits it perfectly, and the guy just gets a little pat on it. But the little pat on it makes me feel like, oh, yeah, it's good.
Didn't quite hit it hard enough.
Great. Yeah. Philip's good. No players from these teams.
Moving on. Brighton 1, Fulham 1. Have you watched this game?
I watched the highlights.
I haven't. I haven't even watched the highlights.
So I watched the highlights, and obviously I was flicking a little bit. The problem was 3 games that you really want to watch in Brighton, Fulham, Villa, and then Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I own one of Brighton's, which is a Dingra, but I don't own Matoma. I don't want to have any points. So I'll prioritise this the least of the games that I'm going to watch at 2:00. But I watched enough. So Polini should have got sent off in the first half. I don't understand. He just literally forearmed the guy in the face and not got sent off. Polini obviously equalises with an absolute banger. I felt pretty unlikely. Adingra had better chances than Matoma. He led the team in open play XG. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
5.9. Didn't get lucky. But what you do get with Matoma is more minutes. Kind of expect it. Yeah. Look, it's one of those. If Polini gets sent off in the first half, they probably run absolute riot here. As it is, it's a post-Europa, bit of a headache. Didn't work out. Different setup to how they played. I thought that was quite interesting. So
they played Adingra and Matoma as kind of wing backs.
Yeah, but really high. They never played the back side of it. They just played wings. So they still played a box midfield in front of a 3.
Yeah.
So therefore you then have a 3 in front of it. So it's a 3-4-3, but the 4 is a box. So that's quite cool. That's pretty cool. You don't see that very often. And then they were still high. So effectively, even Ferguson wasn't as high as Matoma and Adingra. Proper high.
Yeah, Matoma furthest forward. Ferguson pretty deep, actually.
Yeah, but he is.
I guess that's just the nature. But that's the nature of and that's the nature of how the Brighton forward is going to play anyway. Regardless, because whether it's Welbeck or João Pedro, or even when they look to change it, which they did, and bring Ansu Fati in, and
I looked earlier. FPI Analytics had like 6,000 an hour Matoma coming out of people's teams to go to Doug Luiz and Mbeumo. Like,
Doug Luiz. Fixtures are gone though.
People are selling Matoma, mate. Like, don't sell Matoma.
Yeah,
we got a week off and a good fixture next weekend. Do not sell Brighton. I said start them next week.
Yeah,
it's your lot.
That's it.
West Ham.
Okay.
Everton.
West Ham. This graph's pretty
rank.
Well, it is rank, but it's kind of it is rank.
1.1 XG in the entire game.
Yeah, it's rank. But there was a lot of like blocked shots. There was a lot of block shots as well.
This felt like what I watched of it felt like they'd all had Sunday lunch before it kicked off at 1:00. Like it felt like they'd all gone out midday. Let's all have a roast.
Cheeky Toby.
Let's have a full on, not even a little bit. Toby, extra jug of gravy. There's a lot. Like, and then it was just trudge around.
Yeah.
Bowen had some snatchy chances.
And a header as well.
Good finish. I liked the touch from Calvert-Lewin. I almost wondered if whether he watched Nketiah. It was very similar, just a horizontal version rather than a forward version of it. But it was the same touch, effectively of create the space with the sort of drag back.
Oh, it was a full Cruyff, wasn't it? Full Cruyff, full through his legs.
Yeah, back, but good, damn good.
Should have been two. Should have been two, to be fair, as well. Areola's made a ridiculous save at the end there from Decore, I think it was, which doesn't come across as a high chance, but felt like a big chance. Probably just a bit.
You're going to get these with West Ham. You're going to have these games where they're going to, a good West Ham game is 1.7, 1.8 xg. A bad West Ham game is 0.5 xg.
Why is James Ward-Prowse not taking all the set pieces and all the corners?
Well, as soon as I saw it,
why?
As soon as I saw Cresswell was on the lineup, I was like, "Oh, I mean, he's really good at them." But then, I don't know. Something's weird there. I don't get it. But, I mean, they're all good takers, aren't they? Bowen's good at them. Cresswell's good at them. James Ward-Prowse is good at them. And
yeah, but James Ward-Prowse is the best at them. So surely
he is the best at them. But they were brilliant at them for a long time before James Ward-Prowse got there. Then James Ward-Prowse got there, and we were like, well, he's even better than what they asked, and they're going to do loads. But they ain't scoring a load from set plays because we haven't been reaping it in. So maybe he goes, do you know what? I'll let the people that used to take him take him.
See if we can reverse our luck. Or
and
like
maybe
that.
Because he is playing that deeper role, maybe they need him back in position. I don't know. I don't know whether that's what the deal is, but maybe they think if it comes out that he'll be the best person to bang it back in. I don't know.
I mean, they still have West Ham still have third highest set play XG, 4.25, but only 2 goals.
Good crosses, big boys. They're going to get XG. It just hasn't happened, but they are still good fixtures. JW, people, I understand that you've got to get him going. And Bowen, I don't think you bring him in now. I think he's a straight. You're not bringing him in, but you definitely. I wouldn't sell him. Would you go Bowen to Szoboszlai if you had the money?
Bowen to Szoboszlai, yes.
That's all we're on about now. It's all on the Szoboszlai
train. This is it. Again, go back to Thursday. And what did I say on Thursday? He said, you give me one player and I'm tunnel vision. That's how I work.
Tunnel vision.
That's how I work.
Why would you not just go a little bit cheaper and buy Brian Mbeumo, who takes penalties and is the best player in the world after 80 minutes?
I fucking hate him. I genuinely hate him. He's genuinely done. I don't want to say nothing here. Let me first talk about that first goal from Brentford. When you have an attacking throw-in, when is your centre back ever at the back post? How fucking genius was that?
When I saw
that was ridiculous. When I saw the goal, and I was like, surely they've missed something in the highlight of this from a set piece or something like that. Maybe I've just missed something. And then watched Match of the Day and was like, no, it's actually just come from a throw-in.
It's really clever. It's really clever. It's well worked. They're good at set pieces. They're good at creating high chances. But yeah, immediately when you see the flash up that says Mbeumo assist, penalty goal, you just assume, he's taking the corner.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happened. So that's happened. I mean, this is prime Brentford. Look at that. 3 big chances in a game, 2 goals. This is what
it's a pure Brentford. It's a pure Brentford chart. Yeah.
It's as Brentford can be. They didn't dominate possession, but when they threaten big.
There are that last line are 2 chances. It's not just one. Let's just caveat that. It's I don't know who was it that went through? The first one that Sanchez saved, the 1-on-1. I can't remember who it was.
That would have been a Mbeumo assist.
Yes, it would have been.
It would have been a Mbeumo assist.
And then I would just love on the timeline for a Mbeumo owner just to say that they got lucky.
But I think we just need to think of Mbeumo like he's Bruno.
Yeah, but you don't
just think of that season of when, like, he would do for most of the game, he does absolutely nothing, but in the moments that matter, he comes alive, and he's a really clever
you
footballer.
can't say comes alive when the fucking keeper goes up for a corner in the 94th minute and it bounces out, and then it's Neil Maupay falls on his arse.
FPL sometimes is about those players that do the naughty stuff.
Can't people just say they're lucky?
I don't know if you saw it today, but Salah did it again today, and he did it last week. Of when they have a free kick, he goes, "I'll tell you what, I'll go stand there like I want to take it." What you want to do, Trent, you don't want to take this straight away. What I think we should do is change the angle slightly, and I'll just roll it slightly, and then you bang it. That doesn't make it better. The free kick's almost and certainly not going to go in. But he's only doing it because he wants the assist. Salah knows how many assists he gets every season. He knows it, and he's there. Mbeumo breaks a neck at the end. He does it in the last 10 minutes of games. He is all about his numbers.
Fair play to him for staying onside as well, because it's very easy to get ahead of the ball there. Like,
he is all about it, and he's more fun, even regardless of anything. He's still more fun than Bruno. Even if he plays right wing back occasionally, he's still more fun than Bruno is at the moment. And he's got Luton in 14, and he just smashed up Burnley. I don't see a world where Brighton is not in my team in game week 14. I have a plan for it.
You have a plan already?
Oh, I've got Diaby, mate. Yeah, so, okay. Who's away to Bournemouth, so maybe not. But in 13, he's home to Arsenal. I don't mind him home to Arsenal at all. Whereas Villa away to Tottenham, so that's my excuse.
Okay,
so
you can do it in 13. You say so the next two.
In 13, I'll probably go Diaby to Mbeumo, and that'll be a really popular move.
The only way I can do it is if I move back off 3-4-3, which might happen. It might just have to happen.
And he's going to continuously, like, this is like the lowest owned. This is like the least it hurt. This one of Mbeumo this week, like 20% Mbeumo. He'll be back to 40% Mbeumo. He'll be back to it.
Yeah.
And if you can bench him through the blank, you then have a double of Mbeumo
at some point. But you say you have a double of Mbeumo. I mean, like, everyone will have Mbeumo anyway. Like, you might be one transfer ahead of everyone else, but everyone will have him.
Brighton he's got in 15, and they do silly stuff. He's got Sheffield United in 16. Home to Villa, like, they do silly things. Play high lines, do silly things. Like, I don't hate that at all. Just doesn't have a game in game week 18.
Yeah.
Then he's home to Wolves at Christmas.
But you can do hokey cokey and back through Diaby at that point for Sheffield United at home in 18. Yeah, so there's plenty there.
Yep. Yeah, potentially.
You could even do like Gordon away at Luton. Do whatever you want.
Have a Mbeumo plan.
Have a Mbeumo plan. Okay.
I'm like that one. Like, I'll look at FPL review and I'll just get some ideas from it. I've been very bad at following FPL review this season.
How do you feel about that?
Oh no, look, I know our friend Jack, FPL Jack, like, message was like, I need intervention because the amount of hits I've taken this season, because I'm just taking hits every week. Like, that's not. I'm definitely, I'm in the Elite 1000 this season. I'm pretty sure the way I'm playing doesn't qualify for Elite 1000 next season, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing of it. But most of the time, when I have a little look at it, I just put in the old exclude players and Mbeumo, because I know what's coming. I know what's coming if I don't.
Yeah.
This is the time where I'm starting to go, okay, I'm not going to exclude him anymore. He gets points. I flapjack in my ear every week telling me how much he loves him, albeit he benched him. He benched him and then had João Pedro starting.
Gutting.
But look, we know that Brentford don't bother with small chances. So most of the time, you're going to see nothing of him. But he gets the big boys.
Just don't watch the games. That's what we've said before. That's what I said when Praz was on. Just said, just don't watch the games if you don't like it.
Or turn him on at 80 minutes.
Just turn on 80 minutes when he's playing up front.
Yeah. Turn him on at 80 minutes.
Oh, I hate him.
Hate him, but yeah. How often are we seeing it now? Like 90 minutes goes +8. And you're like, here we go.
Yeah, it's true.
Here we go. It can happen. He's got a really good knack of getting points.
Okay, cool. Game's done. If you haven't done so already, there's quite a few in here today. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you hit subscribe. If you weren't aware at the start, just very quickly, all monies that come from this stream through super chats, whatever, through ads and all that stuff, will be going to Macmillan Cancer Support. The link is in the description below if you want to donate directly to Macmillan. Just by being here, you're helping support it. So thank you very much to everyone that's here. If you did have any questions, just drop them in the chat. We'll do 5 more minutes or something like that, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because it's now 10 o'clock, which means, what does it mean? It means it was 11 o'clock yesterday. What it means.
It feels later as well. Feels like it. Like I'm old. Like my eyes are starting to be a little bit like. Oh.
So yeah, that's what happens on this day in particular, because we both have young kids and they don't understand, or their body clock doesn't understand that, and we wake up in the morning and just like, just piss off and just disappear for an hour. But they don't do that. Instead of waking up at 6, they wake up at 5, or instead of waking up at 7, they wake up at 6. Anyone with kids will know that. So a little bit different here in the UK. Times change elsewhere in other countries at other dates. I think the US are next week.
Yeah,
is that right? But I remember from living in Malaysia. It was difficult. Nobody understands why we do it, which is fair enough.
Jam would ask a question about, would you play Palmer or Archer and go with you? Palmer. I know he's against us, but
I still play Palmer.
Pens, something can happen.
Yeah. Have we conceded a pen yet? Wait, have we conceded a pen yet? Who did we? Oh, to Brentford, wasn't it?
Brentford and Arsenal. Saka scored a pen against us.
Oh, and Arsenal. Yeah. True.
Yeah. We chance it at the back. We've always got a chance at a pen.
Yeah. Before you answer the next... Go on.
They've got one-on-one specialists, and they like Madueke. If they play Madueke and Sterling, like those are people that get pens. Like,
yeah. No, it's just to call out Daddy Bot, who dropped $5 into the chat earlier on, and Rai, who dropped a $5. So thank you very much to you guys. Didn't want to miss you guys out. And also to oh god, who was it? Was it on Thursday? It dropped us a super chat that we missed for the comment about Danny. The Vicar comment. Best super chat
ever. That was the chat. Can't remember his name. That was good. That was good.
Incredible.
That was good. Spurs v Chelsea score prediction early on.
4-0 Spurs.
At least three.
Do you expect anything else?
Would you do Wissa to Nketiah this week in a straight swap? Yeah, I would.
This week, no. This week, no. This week, no.
West Ham. No.
Yeah, no. I take the Wissa home game to West Ham and then do it. If you wanted to do it next week after.
Unless you priced out.
Unless you priced out.
He's probably going to go up.
It's fair.
Burn to Gahey.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
he should have scored.
Definitely,
he should have scored on Friday
against us. Yeah,
free header. Double arse for game week 12. Saka and Necktie. Burnley. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Just note 13 is a weird old week. Although I think a lot of people are looking at it now. And one of the things that makes 13 look a weird old week is that Tottenham have got Villa. And most people have got around 4 assets from that. I've got 6. So I've got 6 assets in that game in 13. I actually think Tottenham Villa is a good goals game. A very good goals game. So if you've got 4 attackers in it, I think that's pretty good.
We might have Bentancur starting a game by them as well.
Yeah. But Villa play high. Tottenham do stupid things, which I think is good for the Watkins and Diaby of this world. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's goals in that.
Daddybot says Botman to Tsimikas. Yes. We still don't know anything. We don't know what we don't know about Botman, and Eddie Howe lies. So Tsimikas looks fine. I didn't feel like he was too. I mean, the problem with him from an attacking point of view now is obviously you've got your Soberslies in front of him doing the fun stuff, doing the interesting bits and bobs that you didn't get when it was Keita, Fabinho, and Henderson. So Tsimikas, when he understudied for Robertson in the past, used to get round the outside and whatever, but isn't exactly as required. So, I mean, just for the cleans, they've got potential cleans there because they've got the best, still got the best keeper in the world, who is ridiculous on bonus right now, by the way. We didn't mention how good Alisson is on bonus at the moment.
Continuously ridiculous. But the thing with Robbo, mate, like, it's not like Robbo was getting assists and goals every week. So somebody who's worse than him coming into the position isn't going to get goals and assists every week. Like he's not just nailed on Tsimikas that suddenly he's a £7 million defender just because he's playing there. But he is 4.5 million and a great way into that defence. It's just a no-brainer if you can get Tsimikas. But yeah, you do need to make sure as that game week 13, if you've got Tsimikas, he's away to Man City. If you've got Arsenal defence, they're away to Brentford. Tottenham and Villa play each other. Newcastle got Chelsea. No real good fixtures for your defenders in 13. No good fixtures for the defenders in 13, really. So every week.
Rob asked Douglas Luiz to Hwang. I wouldn't do that move, and not yet if you were going to do it.
Yeah, I guess it's just
Wolves is next.
Sheffield United, isn't it?
It is, but it's Sheffield United, then it's Spurs at home, then it's Fulham away, then it's Arsenal away. Like 3 out of the next 4 away from home. No Neto. I mean, we didn't really talk about Hwang's finish yesterday. It was
good.
Class, wasn't it? The cutback was class.
Proper class. But yeah, you probably just need to. You got to stay with Doug Luiz. Got another 2 bonus today,
and he's obviously on pens.
Yeah. 10 corners on pens. Good fixtures. Keep him.
Yeah,
we're done.
I think so. Someone says Maguire a good option at 4.2.
This is not the podcast for supporting Ten Hag base players.
Play Gahey or Gabriel next week.
Gahey
away at Burnley.
100%.
We will leave it at that, I think. Yeah. I think that's good. Once again, guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you leave a review or 5 stars or something along that line. Thanks as always. And I guess we will see you on Thursday. Yeah. So my daughter's gymnastics thing is changing a little bit. She's doing more hours now. She's going up to like 12 hours a week. So what that means actually now is on Thursdays, I'll be home a little bit earlier. So we may be able to start a bit earlier on a Thursday. If we do a live stream, it may just be that we record, but
we'll work it.
We'll work it out. Well done on your week this week, mate. I'm happy for you. Honestly, I am happy for you.
I'll see you later.
You didn't have Mbeumo, so I'm allowed to be happy for you.
Yeah, fair.
Catch you later, mate.